Hi, I've been asked to do an instructable on how to actually operate the FCD Mk4. It's pretty straightforward. You do get printed instructions with the Mk4 when you receive one of these units, but I'll just go through it and explain to you exactly how this operates. It's very simple, but it does have quite a few nice features that you can use in your Ghost Box sessions. So the first thing to do when you receive it is to make sure that you charge up using a USB lead like this one here that you get with the unit, to charge up by placing the USB lead in the charging port on the top of the unit there, and into a suitable phone charger or a computer PC USB port. I do recommend that on the first charge you charge it up to 4 hours, and that gives it a really good boost, and then from then on usually it's 2 hours and you'll get, on each 4 hour charge you'll get at least 2 hours continuous play with the unit. Okay. Also, because it's a dual voltage unit, it's powered by 2 batteries. The internal one is the 5 volt that you would be charging up there with the lead, but then on the back of the unit there is a housing for a 9 volt PP3 battery, and that drives the reverb and the volume amplifier that is situated within the case. Make sure that when you put the battery, just move to the side there so you can see it, the battery into the case, that you push the battery all the way into the contacts. I've had 1 or 2 people that have said that the unit won't come on, they can't hear any sound, and it's a simple fact that they've not pushed the battery all the way into the battery housing. Also, what I tend to do is get a little thin screwdriver like this one, and then just pop it behind the battery in the case, there's enough room there, and push it forward gently to make sure that it's in the contacts. Then on the back of the battery box there is an on-off switch. You just put that into the on position and then clip it back into the unit at the back, and you're ready to go. Right, to operate the actual box itself, it's a simple matter then of, once the battery of the 9 volt case is turned on, slide the on-off switch on the unit, and you'll know that it's on because the LED lights will start to flash inside the speaker behind the metal grill. This indicates whether you've got a good charge or not. If it seems really dim, or it's, you know, the charging light seems to be red all the time, you do need to charge the unit up. As this one's okay, we'll carry on. I'll use this screwdriver as a pointer, it'll be easier. On the front of the unit, on the panel here, you'll see there are 4 black buttons. Okay, the first one at this side, sorry, I'm the wrong way around here, is the mode button. The second one along is for volume up or volume down. The third one along is radio sweep, and the fourth one along is also volume up, volume down, but also connectivity with Bluetooth. You'll see how this works as it goes along. Okay, so they're the 4 buttons. The main button you'll be using all the time is this one here, the mode button. Now when you press this, which I'll show you in a second, it cycles through 3 different modes, and the first one usually is the Bluetooth mode. You'll hear a distinct sound when this is pressed, and then the second one is the FM radio mode that you use for doing the radio sweeps, and then the third one is almost a silent, you'll hear a little hiss in the speaker, but that is actually the mode for auxiliary, where you can plug in through the 3.5 jack port here on the top any other phone apps or any other devices that you want to play through the actual FCD. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll talk about the sockets on the top there. There are different jack ports on the top that can be used with the FCD as well. So if we press the first button here, I'll put the screwdriver in, we'll go through the modes. There's the Bluetooth mode with that distinctive sound. Press again. That is the FM radio mode. Now when you reach this, I'll show you in a moment how to sweep the actual radio. Then we go into the auxiliary mode. You can hardly hear anything, but if you plug something into there, as I say, it will work through the actual unit. So we'll go to, that's Bluetooth mode. You can pair up your Bluetooth phone with this to play sound files through it and that type of thing, apps with sound files through it remotely, almost like at a distance without a physical lead or connecting cable. So you can use Bluetooth mode there. This is the FM mode. So if you press the third button along, once it will start to sweep. You'll know it's sweeping by these bursts of sound. And you'll keep getting snippets of sounds and words coming through the box as it is doing now.
Gimme, because
this can be adjusted the sound by the reverb knob here on the top. And this is the volume knob here, which you can turn all the way up. Okay, so to stop it, you just simply press the mode button again. So back to the sweeping FM sound, and on this unit it hasn't got a continuous sweep, so when it gets to the end of the FM range you do have to press that third button again. You don't have to go through all the mode buttons, just press the third button again and it will start sweeping through the FM mode as many times as you press the button basically. Okay, that's really good for question and answer sessions. Gives you a chance to prepare your questions, then run through the sweep and work like that. Now, I mentioned that there are other things connected to the box that you can use, and one of those is really handy. If you can get sound files downloaded from the internet, you can put them onto a USB stick like this one. This is quite an old one actually, you can get a more modern one, but you can put the sound files on there and you can actually get a program off the internet that randomizes the sound files. So you can put it back in your computer, randomize them so in a different sequence, and then you can use it again so you don't get the same replies all the time. Very simple to use this, it doesn't matter what mode you are in, you plug that into the top there and it will automatically pick up, there you go, pick up the sound that are on the USB stick. Okay, and then just to turn it off you just pull the stick out, and in this case it's gone back to the radio mode. So there's also on here, if I can tilt it forward so you can see, there's also here on the top the 3.5mm jack input socket. You can use that to put in any sort of app from your phone or an external device. The charging socket is there for the USB 5V. USB socket is there that we've just used, and then we've got even an SD card. You can put sound files onto the SD card, push it into there. It's a micro SD card like you have in your phones, and it will play files from that as well. This unit will not record onto those devices unfortunately, but maybe that's something we'll look at in the future. And that's the on-off slider switch just there. Turn the unit off for a second. Don't forget when you turn the unit off, I'll just try and get this into a position where you can see it okay. Don't forget when you turn the unit off to actually make sure you not only turn off the slide switch but also the battery in the compartment off. And what I would recommend if you're going to leave it off for a long time between sessions is take the battery out completely, and then you're not going to discharge your battery unless, by accident. Okay. The unit itself has also got a carrying handle that's secured onto the top of the base, which makes it very handy for moving it around. It did have, on the earlier models like this one, I can just turn it around there, a small crystal inductor antenna on the side here, but I found that this kept getting knocked off all the time. It's too easy to break that. So what we went with eventually is on the newer models now, you get one of these. I'll just give it a little shake. You can hear it. It's full of crystal chips in there, quartz crystal chips. It's got a connector here at the top that can be screwed tightly down, and it will have a soldered wire antenna that goes into the actual box's antenna. There's a loop antenna inside this case that connects to, and this works almost like a booster within the AM field around the box. So it does give the opportunity for spirits to come in and use the pulse energy from the crystals to influence what sounds come out of the box. And that's positioned next to the battery on the back. Okay, I think that's about it. Very quickly, a little bit about the cosmetics on the box. The box now has a new style panel. It's the same shape at the front here, but before it was a paper and it used to get wet and it was, you know, it would make the ink on it run. So what I've done now is I actually cover all of these panels in 2 or 3 coats of sealant so that they are watertight now. So I'll have a new cover on there. The crystal is no longer on the side. The corner protectors that are on the unit remain. They're there as well, so that if it gets bashed at the front it's not too bad because you've got this hard plastic cover. But on the back there, to stop the wood getting chipped, I placed these metal protective covers there. It's got feet to stand on the bottom of the box there, 4 feet, and that's about it. Oh no, it's got a metal grill on all FCD units of this type. It's got the metal grill, so if that gets a bash you're not going to damage your speaker. Okay, so there it is. There's the FCD Mk4. I hope that instructable on how to operate it comes in useful. I will be putting on the FCD website so people that have one of these can refer back to it if they forget about how to use it. It's pretty straightforward. One last thing I did forget to mention there is on this side here there is an auxiliary out, so you can plug your headphones in there if you want to keep it a private session. It will not disconnect the speaker unfortunately, but if you turn the volume fair way down you'll get it out of the headphones or the earphones louder than you will out the speaker. So there is that there, but you can also use it. It's handy if you want to put a cable between that and your computer. You can actually record in that way from the box using a software program. Okay, and that's it. That's the FCD Mk4 for anybody who wants to know how to use it. Thank you.